I'm John Beaudin. It's part 4 of our conversation with Chris de Burgh. This is Rock History Music. Chris de Burgh first came to prominence with his second album, Spanish Train and Other Stories, in 1975. The title song about the Lord and the devil playing poker and chess, with, of course, the devil cheating, was even banned in some countries. Then there was the salacious Patricia the Stripper. And then a song that became a holiday favorite, A Spaceman Came Traveling. By 1981, there was the single Waiting for the Hurricane, an extra track off his best of Best Moves. It showed a more commercial side of Chris de Burgh. By 1982, he had 5 singles off The Getaway, including the hit Don't Pay the Ferryman, about a boat captain who may or may not be the Grim Reaper. And 2 albums later came his big tune, 1986, the album Into the Light, and a worldwide hit smash, Lady in Red. His new project is The Legend of Robin Hood, featuring the music that's soon to be featured in a musical. It's a reimagined tale of the fabled folklore favorite, and it's available now. Spanish Train, how did you come up with that? Who was the man who wrote that? What was going on with you?
I was, during the making of my first album, Far Beyond These Castle Walls, I was invited by my producer and his Portuguese girlfriend to go and stay with them for 3 weeks in Portugal. They had to have a break. So I went down there, and where they wanted me to stay was kind of pretty miserable. So I thought, I'm going to go to Spain, because I was brought up in South America, and I did speak fluent Spanish then. And I got on a train, and this was during the era of Franco and the repression. And I never forget being on, it was like surreal. And I don't know what I'd been on the night before, maybe a few beers, or I don't know what. But as we crossed the Guadalquivir River, I looked to my right, and there was a farmer up on the hill had got all these gnarled bits of wood that he'd put up as a fence. And as I went by, slowly, by the way, I thought, God, that's like skeletons dancing, like, whoa. And then I suddenly thought, there's the train driver's a skeleton. And then the whole thing began to emerge. And I wrote down in my book that I had with me, there's a Spanish train that runs between Guadalquivir and Old Seville. At dead of night, the whistle blows, and people hear she's running still. That's the first thing. And when I got home to my place in London, I then went into all the stuff that I knew from the past. For example, John Milton's Paradise Lost, where the devil was originally an archangel, and he was chucked out of heaven, and he's lying there in the flames of hell and glaring up. Actually, it reminds me a bit of Donald Trump. He's glaring back, and he wants to get up there again, back to where he believes he should be. And that's a very powerful song, and at least a poem, an image. And then what else did I have on that one? I went through a lot of poker. I used to play poker a little bit, and I had to get the absolute card thing right. But you know what? It's all about the constant fight in all of us, between good and evil, in a universal way and in a personal way. And that's where it came. I've been writing stuff before that. I mean, ridiculous stuff like Star-Spangled Tangerine See-Through Topless Trousers. Because I realized from the start, singing in a restaurant, which was my first paid gig, nobody listens to you unless if you start a story and they get it, they listen through the whole thing.
Well said. Well said. Okay, the Robin Hood, on this album, that picture you painted, you're sitting across the table from him. What would you ask him? What would you want to know from him?
I would ask him, what was it that transformed you from an ordinary young man into a robber? And what made you have the courage to go out and, in my story, for example, he robs a guy coming back with taxation money, going for the sheriff and the king in the forest. That's one thing. And then he goes to, at night, he turns up in a moneylender's bedroom and holds the point of a knife against his throat and says, you have been extorting money from all these poor people with extortionate rates. I'm taking all of it, but you keep some of it, what you think is fair, and I'm taking the rest of it to give back to the people you took it from. And I would say, what made you into that person? Because I couldn't have done that. And you knew the danger you were getting into. You knew that sooner or later, the sheriff and the king of England were going to hunt you down. And that's what I would like to ask him.
Yeah.